why is it that like Tulsa is the home of kind of USA BMX then? Like, how does that come about? Because I mean, just the association's been around since '77, but how does Tulsa kind of mix in all of this other than being in the middle of the country?
I'll take it. So, ABA is, they've always been based out of Arizona, Chandler, Arizona, and Gilbert is where our offices are. But out of the whole national series that we put on, Tulsa has always been, or Oklahoma, the state has always hosted the Grand Nationals, which is our World Series race, the Super Bowl for BMX racing. So the finals are always held. It used to be Oklahoma City over at the Myriad Convention Center up until '97, and then Tulsa, wanted us to bring it back here. We were in Tulsa in '83 and '84, and then they went to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
So then finally Tulsa, so we've had this good, this awesome relationship with the city of Tulsa and the Tulsa Sports Commission and with ABA. And so they talked us into, going to it's at the Expo Center, the State Fairgrounds, and that building's, I don't think there's any other building in the country that could host our Grands. The Grands is just massive, huge race, the biggest one in the entire world. And so because of that relationship, and they've been since like '99, they've been wanting to build this ultimate facility with an arena and headquarters, and have a museum and a gym, and just what we have here. It's been a vision for about 25 years. So they had talked with the city of Gilbert, Arizona, where we were at. And it almost happened, but then it didn't. And then Tulsa, the city of Tulsa and the Sports Commission, they were just like, hey, what about us,
Yeah.
So, since we had that great relationship, they worked it out, and they put it in that, what was it, the
Vision package?
Vision package. And, Tulsa voters said yes to it. And, here we are 7 years later.
That's amazing. It's amazing to have. I mean, Tulsa's kind of done that for a while, right? They've always wanted to do cool things and push the boat out, but it's cool to have like that kind of community involvement for a sport that like most of the generation now, the kids. I mean, there's a very small. I don't know many kids who do BMX, right? If that makes sense. You guys obviously do because you're here all the time, but kids growing up probably don't think, I'm going to be a really good BMX rider anymore, because they're wanting to go do something else or whatever, or build, apps and all, whatever they're doing. But it's really cool for a city to be like, what, this is important. We see that this is really cool to us, and we can have a home here and a home base. And from a track perspective, I assume every year the Worlds had come here, you would have to build a track, right? It's not just waiting for you to come back every year. They just would they do all the dirt work for that event and then have to tear it down and start again?
Every year.
Yep.
So for you, having an actual facility that's just prepped and ready to go and plug and play, that's amazing for all of you, right?
Yeah, having this track here is awesome because we're going to have, the world's best, the Olympians, they come here, they train, they practice, they stay here for weeks at a time. Just giving them that level of facility that they can practice at. It's one of the best in the country, if not the world.
God, it's so exciting to have it just like in the middle, in Oklahoma of all places, right? In Tulsa, Oklahoma, people would think, what the hell are we doing here? But then they show up, right? Like driving here, you're driving through not a great area, and it's rundown buildings, and you make that turn, and you're like, you see the giant sign, like, okay, this is cool, right? This is an operation, and you've got a brand new parking lot surface and everything else, right? All the little things that, like, when people pull up to this facility, that it's not just a warehouse in the middle of nowhere. It's, like you said, a world-class facility. So I'm sure it's fun for you guys to get the reviews from the world's best that come here to train. They're like, man, I wish I had this. Or the guys who have, grew up, in the 70s and 80s not having a facility that come here like, wow, you guys do not realize how lucky you are to have this.
Yeah, it was neat. We have the Legacy Nationals, was the first big national event that we held at this facility, and that was in May. And seeing all these international riders and Olympians, we had the gold medalist from Tokyo and current world champion. He's from the Netherlands. And it was cool to see him, hear what they thought of this facility. They were just blown away, and that was pretty cool.